Good morning and welcome to Joe. It is Tuesday, February 9th, Decision Day here in New Hampshire as first primary votes are cast in the 2016 presidential election.
Boy, and I tell you what, Mika, it has been a long time
painful.
in the making. On the Republican side, a candidate few people took seriously is now looking to make New Hampshire history. It could happen.
Donald Trump goes into Election Day with a commanding lead in the polls, while the apparent fight for second is literally anyone's game.
Meanwhile, over on the Democratic side, who was once seen as all but inevitable now is a clear underdog in New Hampshire. Hillary Clinton has mounted comebacks in the Granite State before, but the question everybody's wondering today is, can she do it again?
And in fact, some of the votes are already in. 3 tiny hamlets went to the polls at midnight. Bernie Sanders won all 4 Democratic voters in Dixville Notch, while John Kasich beat Donald Trump 3-2 among Republicans. Across the 3 towns, Trump, Kasich, and Ted Cruz have a 3-way tie for first at 9 votes each. And while Sanders leads Hillary Clinton 17-9. Here with us on set at JD's Tavern in Manchester, legendary columnist, it should be veteran and MSNBC contributor Mike Barnicle, and managing editor of Bloomberg Politics Mark Halpern, and John Heilman as well. So a lot to get to with Willie, Joe, and me. Are we good here? Everyone's still with us?
I'll tell you what. They are fired up behind us. Let's talk. We've got the latest tracking polls and everything else. But before we go to that, let's just take it around the table really quick. Mike Barnicle, what did you see yesterday out on the campaign trail?
One of the more interesting things I saw yesterday was at the Trump rally, and it finally dawned on me, looking at a huge number of people who came out in the storm at the Verizon Center right across the street from where we are right now. Donald Trump, to a lot of people, is literally a lottery ticket. They're buying a lottery ticket.
Look at the pictures from last night. Stunning. Yeah.
It was incredible.
And Willie, you were there as well. Yeah. I mean, these people drove through the snowstorm. I was talking to Trump's people backstage asking how they were feeling. And they said, well, we'd feel a lot better except for the fact that 2 or 3 of our staff people coming over were in car accidents because the roads were so bad. We walked out there, Mika. What were there, maybe 4,000 people, 5,000 people there? It's pretty stunning.
These crowds for Trump have become so routine that we start to take them for granted. But last night was another one of those moments on the eve of the election in that arena, 4,000, 5,000 people showing up to see him. And I will just say, for anybody who's never been to New Hampshire in these couple of days, what a great process this is. Wow. Driving through the snow from one event, Democrats, to big arenas, Donald Trump, small diners for other candidates. It's just a great way to elect a president, and we don't know what's going to happen today. We've got 2 people ahead that we never would have dreamed of a year ago. Donald Trump on one side, Bernie Sanders on the other. But beyond that, especially on the Republican side, it's jump ball.
We have no idea. With so many undecideds, anything could happen. We could be shocked even in the first place finish like we were in Iowa. But it really has been an incredible week or so. What did you see, John Heilman, yesterday?
Well, I was with these guys last night at the Trump rally. We actually went yesterday to saw Bernie Sanders in the morning, Hillary Clinton in the early afternoon, and then Donald Trump at night, all within the greater Manchester, Nashua area. And I was really struck by Trump last night. I'd seen him over the course of this week. In the middle of the week, we talked in Exeter. He seemed a little tight to me and a little worried. I think they were hearing and maybe even seeing in their internal numbers a little bit of the sign that he might be fading a little bit. Right. By the end of this week, early this part of the week, I think Trump is incredibly confident in that it's not just the polls are reinforcing what they're feeling. He seems to be a different man than he was last Thursday or Friday.
Got a rhythm.
I noticed last night, and I think, Mark, they find themselves in an interesting situation. They are still chasing to buy Iowa. They see polls that show them 15, 20 points ahead. Don't tell them they're 15 or 20 points ahead, because they'll go, we were ahead in Iowa, too. Yeah. But there is a growing sense of confidence that these numbers may hold up.
Look, they want to bank a victory. Donald Trump is correct. He's a first-time politician, second in Iowa. That's a good result by almost any standard for a guy who's never been on the ballot before. Primaries are different than caucuses. This is an extraordinary day. If the 2 guys ahead in the polls win, we will have 2 guys around 70 years old who have been talking about the same things for decades, who are getting their moment now to lead their parties potentially, and 2 guys who are going to come out of here with some momentum at a time when Hillary Clinton, Jeb Bush, John Kasich, Marco Rubio are all going to have to, after the results tonight, figure out how do we explain losing.
All right, we've got to get to the polls and to some last-minute defining moments, and then we'll talk more. The final poll heading into today's vote shows Donald Trump maintaining his strong lead and perhaps a late surge to Jeb Bush at 31%. The Emerson College poll shows Trump at 15 points ahead of Jeb Bush, now in second at 16%, while John Kasich is third at 13%, Marco Rubio fourth at 12%, Ted Cruz at 11%, Carly Fiorina at 7%, Chris Christie at 6%. The poll shows up and down week for Donald Trump, falling from 37% on Thursday to 22% on Saturday, yet bouncing back to 33% on Sunday.
That's after the debate.
It's also a slow climb for Jeb Bush at just 12% on Thursday, climbing to 19% on Saturday and 21%.
Look at those numbers. What do you call that? Big Mo. Yeah.
And then this, while Rubio fell from a high of 17 on Friday before the debate to single digits on Sunday after the debate. Bush now has the highest favorability of the Republicans with a net positive rating of 17%. And Trump also.
Okay, hold on a second. We got to stop here. Mark Halperin, how stunning it is. Go back to the favorability. First of all, you can see clear trend lines. Jeb Bush going from the low teens into the 20s over the course of 4 days. Donald Trump up, down, and back up. Marco Rubio down to single digits. But the most surprising number right there, top line, a man who has had the lowest favorability ratings throughout most of the campaign among Republicans, now in first place. If there was one line that jumped out at me yesterday and shocked me, and maybe suggested something that might be a big surprise, it's that top line right there.
Guy said months ago he was the joyous tortoise and that he would slowly come back here, and he has. And, you know, Donald Trump continues to attack Jeb Bush. Maybe he's doing it because he doesn't like him. Maybe he's doing it because he gets good laughs for it. But maybe he's doing it because he recognizes if Jeb Bush finishes second tonight, imagine the donations to his super PAC.
Yeah.
Imagine his ability to have a comeback story that will position him in South Carolina, where he has some strength, to be a finalist in this contest after being written off by many people. It would be a huge comeback, and the fact that he's brought his favorability back is enormous.
You know, John, let me ask you, the candidate that I saw Sunday, Jeb Bush, in Nashua. No,
Jeb Bush.
Jeb Bush in Nashua.
John Ellis Bush, okay? Can you not get
Sunday was a different candidate than the one I saw in Iowa a week and a half earlier. It seems that he's a free man now, that he's peeled off the layers of bureaucracy in his campaign or the countervailing arguments that he's getting within his campaign. But he is a free man, and he's a different candidate.
The candidate who was written off as dead, and is considered written out. Everybody says he can't come back, is completely over. And I'm one of the people who said that I thought Jeb was dead months ago. That candidate can be a dangerous candidate. You know, the candidate who's just free, liberated, out to say how he feels, talk about the stuff he wants to talk about. He's gone after Trump more strongly than any other candidate in the field. And I think late, very close, maybe too late, who knows, but certainly late, he sort of found his voice. And, you know, he is in a great position in this respect. If John Kasich and Jeb Bush are the establishment stories tonight, Jeb Bush is in such a better